we've got some pretty dark, ugly topics to discuss in this Massachusetts report. Hence why you're about to get a little bit of different sound effects. That, in my opinion, as someone born and raised in Massachusetts and lived under this government, well, that's why I think it fits. Because of how bad it was. And how we should never forget what this man did to my. What's up, everybody? It's Zach the Celtics guy here with the second video of the day, and it's an episode of the Massachusetts Report. So, I use these sound effects from the Mystery Case Files game, which I obviously use for fair use purposes for entertainment only, just to fit with this channel and whatnot. I always do it with my, live episodes and whatnot, because I'm usually talking about fucked up topics or serious topics and things like that. But yeah, that's actually what I'm going to be talking about here. We in Massachusetts should recognize just how horrible Maura Healey is. Maura Healey's done a fucking horrible job. I mean, you've all seen her record, whether you live here in Massachusetts or whether you don't, and you watch this channel, and you're well aware of what has been going on here. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you all are well aware of it if you are watching this channel. However, that doesn't mean we should shy away from Maura Healey's record of failure and forget about just how horrible Deval Patrick fucking was. Don't ever forget what Deval Patrick's mistakes and record of failure did to Massachusetts. Now, Maura Healey sucks too. She's horrible too. But I'll tell you right now, I don't know. It really makes you wonder. Because, by the way, Deval Patrick was in office when we had the 2008 recession. He basically turned the 2008-2009 recession and turned it into an ugly, horrible, bankrupting 8 years when he was governor of Massachusetts. He ravaged jobs and small businesses in the state while bailing out big corporations and big companies and big pharma. Hence why we had a failure of a rollout of the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare. Rolled that out and was one of the biggest failures in the nation. We also had scandal after scandal at the Department of Children and Youth Centers, aka, which is also known in the state as DCF. We had a terrible rollout of the medical marijuana rollout. We had that problem. And nonstop tax increases. And during these bad economic times for Massachusetts, Deval Patrick raised taxes in Massachusetts one after the other during this recession. No, he didn't raise them on the super rich. He raised them on low and middle income people like me. That's why I was so proud to vote him the fuck out of office in 2014. He was in office from 2006 to 2014. So his 8-year record was an ugly, bad, untransparent, corrupt, and scandalous 8 years. Basically made Massachusetts' economy basically a borderline depression. And there was hardly any jurisdiction in the country that was worse off than how Massachusetts was when Deval Patrick was in office. Deval Patrick's scandals, his corrupt Attorney General, Martha Coakley, who was up against Charlie Baker, and thank God she fucking lost. She was responsible for it completely just ignoring scandals that were going on in DCF. Child neglect. That was Martha Coakley's record. And that fucking bitch tried to run against Charlie Baker, and thank God she lost. Because otherwise Massachusetts would have been a bankrupt state before long. No, Deval Patrick really was that fucking horrible. If you lived here under the Patrick administration, you would know just how horrible he was. And I'm telling you how horrible he was. And he is. And he should never be allowed into anything ever a fucking can. Because his corrupt, conniving, tax-raising, scandalous, ugly, untransparent record devastated thousands of lives in Massachusetts. Lost jobs, lost homes, lost businesses, lost money. That was Deval Patrick's record. And his ugly record took a toll on our economy. We truly did become Taxachusetts when he was in office. We truly were. This state actually shedded that record for quite a number of years from the 70s and onward. Well, that was until Deval Patrick showed up. And then he started raising taxes the second he took office. And then he did it during the recession. People who are suffering under the subprime mortgage crisis, you know, that Deval Patrick's fucking buddy Obama bailed out the bankers. Instead of bailing out small businesses and creating jobs, what did he do? Oh, he just bailed out the big corporations, the big fucking corporations. Like the big box stores of the world, basically bailed them out. How is that progressive? How is that socialist? How is that good? Goes to show how Democrats really are. That's why I'm more pissed off with them nowadays than I am with the Republicans. Because at least the Republicans tell you what they believe in, whereas the Democrats are just, they're practically just, they act all cute. They're like teddy bears, but underneath is a ferocious grizzly bear that's going to kill you and your entire family. That's basically what that shit is. So no, Deval Patrick, tax record, business record, and governmental record was nothing but a failure. A complete, abysmal, ugly fucking failure. There was not a tax increase that Deval Patrick loved, especially during hard economic times, but he didn't care. And I'm sick and tired of these fucking people that make excuses for these politicians. Like, you're just as stupid as the politicians yourself. When you make excuses for these politicians, you're just as stupid as they are, because you're like, oh, well, Deval Patrick meant well. Yeah, I'm sure he meant well. Well, he was destroying people's lives in the state and destroying people's jobs and destroying people's savings, lost jobs, lost businesses, lost savings, lost money, wasteful spending, corruption, scandalous record, children being neglected in DCF, failed rollout of the Affordable Care Act, which was probably the worst in the nation, the failed medical marijuana rollout, scandals involving the crime lab, which also resulted in the release of felons that should not have been back on the streets. There was that as well. There was also that too. So there was all sorts of terrible policies. And by the time Deval Patrick had his way, Massachusetts was truly Taxachusetts. We were the 48th worst tax climate in the United States. We had the highest taxes, the highest taxes in all of New England. We had higher taxes than any of the U.S. territories combined. More than Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, and American Samoa combined. We had one of the highest taxes in North America. When it came to regressive taxes, Deval Patrick's tax increases were some of the worst in North America. So why do you think I fucking hate that man? Why do you think I despise that man? And every time I see his name, like Politico trying to bring up his name and trying to act like how fucking wonderful he was. Why do you think? He destroyed lives. He destroyed lives. He destroyed businesses. He destroyed jobs. He destroyed people's money. He destroyed people's livelihoods. He destroyed people's fucking lives. And yeah, I will forever fucking despise that bastard. And no, I'm not saying this because I favor Republicans. And I didn't vote against them because I favored Republicans. I was voting for a different alternative. Plus, I was 18 years old when I voted. That was the first time I ever voted. My first time to ever vote was when I voted. Oh, and let's not forget this one. How can I I'm 10 minutes into this video. How the fuck could I almost have forgot this one? How could I have forgot this one? Did you know that Deval Patrick in his last 2 years in office and fucking scumbag, crook, piece of shit, Martha fucking Crookley, tried to put the gas tax to go up with inflation? If that actually passed, which thankfully it didn't, because we voted to repeal it before it even went into effect. So we repealed the inflation indexing of the gas tax. That's what we did in Massachusetts. And thank God that we did that, because we would literally have like California level fucking prices in terms of gas. Our gas prices would be triple what they are now. They're like around the high 290 range in Massachusetts right now. They're around 295 a gallon in some places. Some places it's like 310, 320 on the high end. Some places it really all just depends. But it would be triple that if we had the gas tax going up with inflation. It would probably be triple that. And then that would jack up the price of gas, which would then jack up the price of diesel, which diesel trucks have to go to and from places to ship food and medicine and goods. That would have increased the prices of food in the grocery stores, and it would have jumped exponentially. And imagine with the price gouging right now since 2020 and beyond, with this price gouging right now, how bad do you think the prices in Massachusetts would be? They'd be double what they are right now if Deval Patrick and Martha Healey had their way with the gas tax increase. And then come to find out, there was $675 million worth of deferred maintenance in the MBTA because they were so scandalous and they couldn't handle their fucking tax money. Okay? So, I'm an environmentalist. I'm socialist and everything. I am. But you have to do it in a way. It's not about the money. It's not about taxes. It's not about the money. It's what you do with the money. It's what you do with the money. That's the difference. It's the fact of what you do with the money that makes the difference. If you have high taxes, but your jurisdiction is shit, then what good is this money? Well, what good is this money when it's just actually taking from people at the lower end of the income scale the most? Nobody raised taxes more than Deval Patrick and Martin O'Malley in Maryland, or any of them, or the prior governments in Illinois and Connecticut at the time. They were the only states. They were the 4 states in the country that raised spending the most. Turns out Maryland raised more spending. I think only Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Illinois raised more spending than Maryland did. But Massachusetts was in an even worse shape because of all the other like corruption and the scandals with Deval Patrick and all, like with Martha Healey and the DCF debacle and the Affordable Care Act rollout and everything else. Really, couldn't have given us a public option with that. Goes to show that these politicians are fucking corrupt. See, the thing is with Democrats, their tax policies are just taxing people at the lower end of the income scale rather than taxing people who are, the mega mansions. The Democrats bail those people out. So do the Republicans, of course, but, it just goes to show that it's more than just money. It's got to be about a good system because, you have to have a good system. It's not about more money. It's about a better system. That's what makes all the difference in the world. Having a transparent government that actually balances its budget. And sometimes you shouldn't have to spend more money. You should just spend what's in your budget and use the money that you have. Work within your budget. Sometimes you have to do that rather than going into deficit and then that resulting in you having a revenue shortfall. Like what we're seeing in Massachusetts right now with this corrupt piece of garbage with fucking Maura Healey. But trust me, I despise her too. I despise her for what she's doing to this fucking state. I despise her 100%. I despise her fucking ass as well. But we should never forget what Deval Patrick did to Massachusetts. Ever. Never, ever, ever forget it. And then, you know, some articles are trying to say, oh, well, the tax burden was lower. Yeah, the tax burden was lower. From the 1980s to the 90s through the 2000s, up until Deval Patrick took office, Massachusetts was in the middle of the pack in terms of the tax burden. It was actually in the middle of the pack. And under Charlie Baker, it was also in the middle of the pack as well. It was a lot lower as well. Got the income tax down to the flat 5%, which the voters actually requested, which I supported 100%. He had a big mess to fucking clean up. And guess what? Now, Maura Healey's making an even bigger mess out of it. It's all a fucking mess. I don't want either party in office. I want a solutions-based party. That's what I want. I want that is neither corporate fucking party. I want something different than this shit. I do not want someone that's going to jack our prices and our taxes to the highest levels in North America, like Patrick did, or raising the biggest local tax hikes in history, like what Maura Healey wants and continues to do. And I also don't want neocon Republicans either. But I mean, Charlie Baker actually was not a neocon, but that's besides the point. He was actually pretty decent for the most part. Had some disagreements with him for sure. Don't take me praising him as backing Republicans, because I'm not. It's the person. And I've had disagreements with him too, so don't get that twisted. It's about who's better at the time. But I want someone better than all of that. That's what I want. And that's what I want, man. That's why I want, I want something better than this. We need something better. We need to go forward with and get rid of these fucking two corporate systems. Because nothing is good about it. Both sides want tax cuts for the rich, for the mega mansions and the big box stores and the Amazons and the McDonald's of the world, whereas the middle class and the lower income people get hit with higher taxes, higher user fees, higher property taxes, and other regressive taxes that are detrimental to the middle class, to our savings, to our lives, and to everything, our quality of life and everything. It makes us all suffer. That's what we need. We need something better than that. Something just has to be better than this. It's also the difference as it comes to wages, because wages in this country have been stagnant since the fucking 1970s. So higher taxes in the U.S. is not good, whereas in other countries it's better. At least with higher taxes, say in the Scandinavian nations or in other like socialist nations. I mean, well, Scandinavian countries aren't socialist, they are mixed economies, but that's besides the point. At least they have wages where even if they tax you like 30, 40%, you still have a lot left over. You know why? Because the wages are better. It's also about growing wages. So that's the reason why. Because our wages are shit in this country, for the most part at least. And when you get higher taxes in this country, it's bad because the wages in this country suck. That's what makes all the difference in the world. And then when you got higher gas taxes in this country, it makes the price of and the cost of living worse. And that's also worse because the wages suck. Whereas other countries have higher fuel taxes, but again, they have a more affordable way of living because also their wages are better. It's all really, in all honesty, it's about the wages. That's really what it's about. That's why we should not have a higher gas tax under any circumstances in this country at all whatsoever. Use the money that you have. And I'm not going to cater to this stupidity. Trying to raise it to go up with inflation is ridiculous. They've tried to do it and it doesn't work. It only makes the price of everything go up. It's the worst tax ever for anything. Indexing anything to go up with inflation makes it even fucking worse. So why don't we just find a balance, use the money that we already have, and then if you use the money that you already have, you won't have to have billions of dollars of increases in new fuel taxes. That's what would be better. That's what would make all the difference in the world. And we need something better. Use the money that you have is what you need to do. And grow wages. Grow wages and more money for the middle class and the lower income people in their pockets to grow them and their families and their way of life. And if you do that, then things will be so much better off than we are now. But the point of this video is Maura Healey sucks, and I condemn her record for all eternity, and I'll condemn Deval Patrick's record for all eternity. I think Maura Healey and Deval Patrick are equally bad, but just in different ways. Maura Healey is just more scandalous. Maura Healey just has even more scandals. Deval Patrick was just about raising big taxes on the entire state. Whereas Maura Healey likes the junk fee policies, where she likes the local taxes and the user fees and the higher property taxes. That's what she likes. It all sucks. Because it's not good. It's not like we're getting anything out of it in this fucking country, even in this state. It doesn't work. The only way we can do it is to grow wages and reduce the tax burden on the middle class and have universal unions. That's the way we do it. And that is my solution to those economic problems and for a better quality of life for all. And that would be my strategy. And for that, I stand by it. And for that, we thank you. Anyways, second video of the day. I'm going to wrap this up and upload this video on the other video. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all learned something from this. Stay tuned for more and more stuff on the way. Hope you all have a great weekend, and I will be back at some point soon, including my next stream, which will be on Monday, of course. So look out for that. Keep your eyes out on the community tab for any updates, other stuff in the works. Stay tuned. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you comrades in the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay well, stay classy, keep fighting, and keep on rocking, everybody. Take care of yourselves and all of each other, and I'll see you comrades in the next one. Until next time, peace out. And have a good one, everybody. Till next time. Bye for now. So long.